Chapter 8 Memories and Sucker Punches. I want to undergo the Leteo procedure. It was originally just an insane thought, the kind of thoughts one has at 6 a.m. after a sleepless night when life is sucking. But I spent my weekend researching all things Leteo, and there's actually hope for me. The main red flag is all the controversy surrounding the unsuccessful procedures lately. But I discovered for every backfire all over the country in the past month, there were 12 successful alterations. If others believe this procedure is worth the risk of ending up brain dead, I can't help but agree that it's probably better than me trying to you-know-what myself again out of pure defeat. Leteo is this place of second chances. I read a lot of the stories provided online through Leteo's site, all names and intimate details redacted, of course. A soldier, known only as F7298D, was crippled by post-traumatic stress disorder until Leteo stepped in and buried the worst of his memories. Now, F7298D isn't suffering from disturbing dreams and sleeplessness. A mother of twins, M3237E, was afflicted with agoraphobia after witnessing a bomb go off during a marathon. Leteo hid the memories away so M3237E no longer fears outdoors and can open more doors for herself and her children. And they take care of kids like me too. A 17-year-old girl, S0021P, was sexually abused by her uncle, and even though he's in prison, she began burning her thighs. Leteo gave her the power to move on and trust her family again by suppressing past events where she blamed herself for leading her uncle on. Another 17-year-old, J1930S, suffered from crazy panic attacks and always assumed the worst scenario possible if his family was at home when he returned from school. Leteo figured out the source of his problems and healed him. Leteo takes our story seriously, but that's not what has me itching for the procedure. I stumbled on a story of a 50-year-old father in Russia, A1799R, who realized he spent half his life being someone he isn't, and a quarter of that time married to a woman he doesn't love, can't love. But he couldn't uproot his family, couldn't abandon them or abandon Russia for a more accepting country, so he flew out here and asked Leteo if they could make him straight. And Leteo played with his head and did it. I followed that article to another about a 19-year-old teenager, P6710S, who wanted to escape bullying and this feeling of wrongness. After her parents tried everything in their power to make her feel accepted, they turned to Leteo, who straightened her out. I don't want to be me. I don't want to second guess if my friends are going to be okay with me being me, and more importantly, I don't want to see what happens if they're not. I don't want to be someone who can't be friends with Thomas, because if there's anything worse than not being able to be with him, it's knowing our friendship will ultimately have an expiration date if being around him becomes impossible. I know not being me will be a lie, but I know I'm doing myself a favor in the long run if I can somehow book a Leteo procedure, because as I stand now, I have so much bullshit to look out for. Happiness shouldn't be this hard. The downside to this whole Leteo pursuit: you need an adult if you're a minor seeking a consultation. I'm already down one parent, and I'm sure as shit not asking Eric to accompany me, but this means I'm gonna have to tell my mom what kind of Leteo procedure I want, which sort of feels like when she used to take me to the barber shop and would tell the barber what kind of haircut I wanted. Except Leteo isn't a barbershop, it's more of a tattoo removal clinic, if anything, and this means I gotta tell her everything. I run to catch her at Washington Hospital before she can leave for her night shift at the supermarket. Considering she's only right across the street, this is hardly the most difficult thing I've done today. No, that would have been when I was working a morning shift at Good Foods, and I smelled Thomas's cologne on a customer, and my heart just fucking hurt. Surviving that was today's battle. I'm done fighting. I get to Mom's office where she's ending a call with someone. Erin. I close the door behind me and sit down. The truth is kind of sort of insanely crushing, but if I tell her and she gets behind my plan, which she will because she wants what's best for me, then I can make a happy liar out of myself. Best of all, I'll probably forget this awkward moment ever even playing out. What's wrong, my son? Are you feeling okay? I'm okay, I say. And okay feels like too strong a word because I'm not even that. It's all hitting me hard right now. The rejection, the fear, the uncertainty. So thank God I'm here with my mom because I might need one of her hugs that always made me feel better as a kid. Like that time I got in trouble with security for running in the hallways, or when Skinny Dave's father made fun of me for being a waste of height during a basketball game, or every other time I was feeling ashamed or worthless. Talk to me, Mom says, sneaking a peek at the clock on her monitor screen. I know she's not rushing me, especially when she has no idea what the hell I want to say, but our bank status is no doubt still on her mind as it has to be. I want a Leteo procedure. I have her full attention again. Her stare is so intense, I look around her desk, wondering when she took down the photo she had of me as a kid on Dad's shoulders with Eric in his lap, the three of us in my grandpa's recliner chair. Aaron, please, whatever it is. No, Mom, listen, because time is very important here, and I'm already feeling crazy and scared of what might happen if I can't have this procedure. What could you possibly want to forget? I hope this isn't hard to hear, but I sort of have had something. I thought I would spit it out, but no matter the possibilities of forgetting this moment, living in the now with this weight still feels pretty impossible. I had something going on with Thomas. Maybe you guessed that because you have eyes? She rolls her chair over to me and grabs my hand. Okay, but what's wrong? Me. You're not wrong, my son. She gives me a side hug, resting her head on my shoulder. I don't know what you were expecting would happen. That I would hit you with a belt? Maybe rub some cleansing oil on you? I wish you could. I cry because there's nothing like my mom telling me I'm okay the way I am to really scare me about living with this heartache forever. I want a reboot, Mom. It's not working with Thomas. I know I said I would be more open after what I put you through in April, so I'm telling you now. This whole thing with Thomas was a major awakening for me. But he's still sleeping and I'm not sure I can do or say enough to wake him up. What are you asking of me? To make me right. She's sobbing a little too, and she squeezes my hand. Thank you for being honest with me, Aaron. I have said it before and I'll say it always, but I'll love you however you are. You're being impulsive about Leteo. We can talk this over or schedule another appointment with your therapist. Dr. Slattery is a joke. He's a waste of your money. Leteo is a real damn deal, Mom. They say you can't choose whether or not you like boys or girls, but you can help me get back on the right track. I move out from under her head because she's making me feel like I'm begging for a new Hess truck at Christmas. Kids my age can be impulsive. I get that. But when your son, who almost killed himself, asks for a better life overnight, your job as a parent should be as simple as signing on the dotted line. No, Aaron. She lets go of my hand and stands. I have to go to work. We can talk about this later tonight, and forget it. I storm out of her office, speeding up when she calls my name over and over. I only wipe the tears from my cheeks when I reach the street corner. I pull out my phone. I really want to call Thomas or Genevieve, but I can't. I can't hit up Brendan either because I'm pretty sure he's pieced together all the Thomas-shaped pieces of my cataclysmic puzzle. The same goes for the other guys. I go through my phone book, scrolling past Baby Freddy, Brendan, Colin, Dad, Dion. I call Evangeline. She doesn't pick up. I sink against the wall, wondering where the fuck my place is in this fucking universe that fucked me over. Thoughts I shouldn't be thinking creep up on me. They're telling me to seek out oblivion, where rest and happiness await. I cry harder because it's not what I want, but once again, I'm beginning to feel like it's the only solution. My phone rings. It's not Thomas or Genevieve, but it's the next best hope. Evangeline, hey. Hey, kiddo. Sorry I missed your call. Don't worry about it. I need to ask for a favor. And in that moment, I realize that one lie will help me reach my life of lies, my only way out. It's not like this lie would hurt anyone. I've been talking with my mom about getting some Leteo work done, but she can't come with me. Are you around this afternoon? She's quiet for a bit. I'll meet you in an hour. Grab a spot in line, okay? There's a chance for my happy oblivion after all. I've been in line on the corner of 168th Street for close to an hour now, waiting to get into the Leteo Institute. I got bored and asked the older man in front of me what he was here for, and he told me he wanted to forget his cheating ex-wife before he kills both her and the 20-year-old she slept with. After that, I let a couple people skip me. When I finally get inside, I grab a ticket and sit down in a waiting room as big as the one at the DMV. On every wall, there are 2 TVs, all rolling out the same Leteo videos. Question: how safe is this procedure? Answer: very safe. Our non-surgical approach allows all memories in the blueprint to be targeted and altered with molecular precision. Our new FDA-approved pills are absolutely painless. For side effects, please review the brochures available at all help windows. Question: where does the name Leteo come from? Answer: Leteo is a Spanish translation of Leth, the mythological river of forgetfulness in Hades. Question: who is the brain behind Leteo? Answer: Dr. Cecilia Inez Ramos, PhD, MD, and a Nobel Prize-winning neurosurgeon, developed the procedure. Dr. Ramos unlocked the science of alteration while researching psychological disorders. She has a unique personal connection. Her sister suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. In the struggle to improve the quality of a beloved sibling's life, Dr. Ramos uncovered opportunities to fold memories over each other. Leteo grew from there. Dr. Ramos resides in Sweden. You can learn more about Leteo's origins in her scientific journals and more about Dr. Ramos in her biography, The Woman Who Made the World Forget. Question: how much does it cost to forget? Will my insurance cover this? Answer: cost for procedures vary per alteration. For lists of medical plans we are currently accepting, please review the brochures available at all help windows. Question: can patients remember what they've forgotten? Answer: yes, buried memories can resurface. This is known as unwinding. They are typically triggered by detailed reminders, often care of loved ones, of exact moments or traumas. Specific scents, sounds, or images can also trigger an unwinding. Question: how long are patients put under for the procedure? Answer: length of time varies per alteration. Some patients stay overnight and others are released sooner. Question: is this procedure total bullshit? Answer: no, this procedure is not total bullshit. Okay, well, the last one is in my head, but it's exactly the wise-ass type of question I would have submitted back before Kyle pulled this little magic trick on himself. The ticket queue is only on 184, and I'm 224. At least that'll give Evangeline some extra time to get off the line outside and in here. Seriously, the amount of lines in this place alone makes me think that if you knock one person into another, it'll create a crazy domino effect, and we'll all be amnesiacs by the last time the last person falls. Oh, there you are, Evangeline says, sitting down beside me. She's in this silk vest that reminds me of the one Genevieve wore on a movie date last year. But she's still the same old babysitter I knew. Care to catch me up now? Everything's a shit show. That's pretty much it, Evangeline. Language. Talk to me. Her eyes dart around the room. I can't blame her. Mine did too. When I was younger, did you ever think that I might be... I thought I'd be able to spit this out. Did you ever think that I might like other guys? Not at all. Why do you ask? Do you believe you might be gay? I am, but I don't want to be. I want to be made straight. Why do you believe being gay is the root of your problems? She spitfires. I almost feel like she's judging me. I had a girlfriend who loved me and good friends. Now I don't. And that all changed when I met an idiot with zero direction in his life. I'm trying not to sound defensive. If this procedure means I can forget my feelings for Thomas and the pain that would come from a goodbye, I need it. I'm not happy with who I am. That's enough, right? Evangeline searches my face. Listen, kiddo. Even if what you're asking of me is possible, and if you had every last penny needed to cover the costs, this isn't a facility you can simply walk into and schedule work to be done this weekend. Your mother needs to sign off on everything for starters, and they would force you to speak with therapists over a stretch of time first to determine if your feelings can be resolved over time. I don't answer. She massages my shoulder, and I flinch because it's the same thing I did to Thomas on Friday before kissing him. This is one of many memories I need to live without if I'm ever going to be able to live at all. I know the pain you're going through, Aaron. Yeah, 'cause you're older and I'm just a fucking kid, right? Language, Evangeline mouths. We sit in silence while I wait for my number to be called. Then she straightens. Someone is waving to her from the other side of the room. Do you know that woman? I ask. Stay here, she whispers. Don't leave. Yeah, like I'd leave the place that has my ticket to Elysium, a place of perfect happiness. I watch as she checks on this woman before returning my attention to the FAQ slides. Evangeline is back at my side a few minutes later, and I ask her again if she knows that person. Oh, sort of. She interviewed me for an assistant job at Hunter College's Department of Philosophy. Didn't realize she was pursuing procedure. Apparently, she's on her 6th and possibly final appointment to have memories altered about her husband's affair before he died, so he could remember the good and only that. Funny, huh? More like messed up, I say. Guess philosophers are pro Leteo. My number is finally called, and I speed walk to the help window, almost knocking into a crying man. A brunette in a gray lab coat, Hannah, according to her name tag, clears the screen on her sleek tablet and smiles at Evangeline and me. Hello, welcome to Leteo. How can I help you? There must be cameras on her because no one working on customer service counter is ever this nice. I don't have an appointment or anything, but I want a procedure. Absolutely. May I see your ID? I pass her my ID. The photo of me is in desperate need of a haircut. Hannah punches in some keys at a crazy speed, and after some time, she looks up at me again. All right, Mr. Soto, what distresses bring you to Leteo today? I'm not feeling very happy, I say, and then I do something that is really downright despicable of me. I place my arm on the counter, and I make sure she can see the smiling scar on my wrist in the hope she'll take me seriously. For how long have you been feeling this way? A while. Could you be a little more specific, Mr. Soto? A few days, really, but it's been building for months. Did any event precipitate these feelings? Yes. Could you be a little more specific, Mr. Soto? Are you going to be the one who handles my altering? No, Mr. Soto. I'm simply collecting information for our technicians. I'd rather keep my secrets as secretive as possible, if possible. Hannah turns to Evangeline. Are you his relative? Family friend, Evangeline says. Hannah plays with her tablet some more. I can schedule a consultation for Mr. Soto with our team for the 12th of August at noon. She reaches into a drawer, pulls out a folder, and slides it towards Evangeline. Before I can demand to be seen sooner, she says, I'm afraid that is the earliest we can do at this time. We look forward to seeing you in August. She calls the next number, and Evangeline leads me outside. I'm in a daze, looking up at the squat building in the summer heat, not sure how to process what exactly happened just there. I'm sorry that didn't go the way you wanted it to, Evangeline says, looking pretty defeated herself. This will give you some time to make sure that this is what you really want. It's not only what I want, I say. It's what everyone wants. I hide the folder under my mattress like it's porn or something, and I go outside to grab an iced tea at Good Foods. I'm about to pay Mohad when I catch Brendan in the pastries aisle stuffing coffee cakes into his pockets. You need $1? I ask, and he jumps. I can spot you $1 if you promise not to hit me. He doesn't flip me off or tell me to go fuck myself, so I walk over and hold out the $1 bill. I have money, Brendan says. I'm trying to save up. Okay. You gonna snitch and get me banned? Not if you let me buy that for you. Truce? Brendan smirks and hands me the coffee cakes. Truce. I buy everything at the counter from Mohad. I feel something like cope as we leave the store together. There's always an awkward silence after our fights. It happened in the 3rd grade after he dissed me in front of the entire class for sleeping in the same bed as my parents. It happened again on Christmas morning a few years ago when he stole a controller my mom had gotten me out from under my tree and claimed his father had gotten him the same one. And even though Brendan was the one who attacked Thomas, I'm guilty for not choosing his side. I'm sorry, I say. My bad too. Brendan tears open the coffee cake and asks, You want to play Manhunt? I was thinking about getting a game going. We go to the first court where everyone is gathered around the Scoutsies board. They're talking about how to get a girl wet with only their fingers and how you don't need a condom if you're hitting it from the back. I don't try to fake a laugh or chime in. I wouldn't do that anyway, and this way it's natural. I can look and feel the same, like I'm still one of them. Brendan nods as if to say I'm cool again, and all is good. Fuck Scoutsies. Manhunt time. Aaron already volunteered to be Hunter. Asshole, I mutter as everyone runs off into different directions. I check underneath cars for Skinny Dave, but he must actually be sober because he wasn't dumb enough to hide there today. I do a quick sweep for where me crazy might be hiding down here. No luck, and I'm cool with maybe never solving that mystery because spending more time with that insane bastard isn't high up on my to-do list. I get back to the courtyard and spot Fat Dave up on the roof, and he moons me. I flip him off. I see Nolan and Dion and chase them as they run out the gates. They split up right when I see Thomas walking toward me, and for a second I think about catching him until I remember he's not part of the game. He's actually here. Thomas quickly says, I know things are weird even though we don't want them to be. He looks me straight in the eyes, and I try and catch my breath. I don't know whether to float or sink yet. But you're my best friend, and I miss having you around. I know you don't actually have a thing for me. Drinking confuses people like that, so we'll call the whole thing taboo and not talk about it for the next 10 years or so. Let's hang and talk about Sunwarden while I apply to a job to... Why can't I like you? Because it wouldn't work out in the long run, Thomas says. Because I don't fit into your little hierarchy of needs? Because I'm straight. Stretch. His voice has an edge now. I thought we wanted to forget it ever happened. Yeah, well, forgetting isn't as easy as you're making it sound. My throat tightens. I can't sit around you and act like nothing happened, or to wait around for you to figure things out. There's nothing to figure out, Thomas says. I know I can be really confused about what I should be doing with my life and how I feel like I don't belong, but I have no doubts about what gets my heart going and my dick hard. That's not meant to be a blow to you, Stretch, but it's just the way I'm wired. I was like that once. I denied it, but then I met you over there by that fence, and it flipped around everything I ever thought about myself. I didn't want to be unhappy, so I stopped dating someone I can't actually love. I get it if you need more time. I can't live up to this fantasy playing out in your head, Thomas shoots back. Without thinking about it, I hug him and hold on to him, even though he's not hugging me back. I can't promise I'll wait. I don't think the pain will vanish the way Evangeline thinks it will. I'm sure waiting for unfulfilled expectations will only make weeks feel like months, months feel like decades, and decades feel like my end of days. If there's no happiness waiting for me there, then I lived a life without laughs and smiles, and that's not living at all. I turn my back on him. I move back into the complex and walk across the third court when two big hands grab my shoulders. I half expect it to be Thomas spinning me around to lead me somewhere private, but instead, I find myself falling forward and rolling into a pillar by my building. Fear chokes me. I doubt it's those bastards from the Joey Rosa projects because I had nothing to do with me crazy beating their boys down. This attack is personal. These are my friends. I pick myself up. It's me crazy, backed by Brendan, Skinny Dave, and Nolan. Too many to outrun. Fight back, faggot! Me crazy challenges, rolling his eyes back until they're just white. He's gonna start pounding on his head any moment now, and I'll be laid out. What the fuck is your problem? I ask him. Me crazy saw you hugging your boyfriend, Me crazy says. Nolan chimes in. Why are you playing with other dudes? You had a bomb-ass girlfriend, and Bran told us you'd stop hitting that. It's for your own good, Brennan says, too ashamed to look me in the eye like the man he wants me to be and thinks he is. He cracks his knuckles and rocks back and forth, and I almost laugh at how ridiculous he looks. I get in his face so close that I could kiss him and really piss them all off. Come on, guys. Try and beat it out of me. The rules of the street aren't clear, but I've known people, Brennan actually, who walked away from a serious beatdown from our rival high school because he kicked one guy's ass and earned everyone's respect. Maybe if I fuck up Brendan or Skinny Dave, who looks too high for his own good, that'll get them to back off. Brendan shoves me. I recover. I shove him back and slam into him with the hardest headbutt I can swing without knocking myself out. Brendan, somewhat dazed, fakes right and swings a hard uppercut into my chin with his left. I kick him in his knee, hard like he taught me, and he collapses, so I knee him in the nose. Then Skinny Dave comes at me with a sucker punch, but it's me crazy who actually tackles me down to the ground, and I know I've lost. I can't move out from under his grip. Now it's all pain. Resisting gets harder, and everything becomes dimmer and blurrier with each punch to my face and each blow to my chest. Me crazy is roaring while he strangles me, and Skinny Dave and Nolan stomp me out. I shout and twist and cry, and I guard my face with the one arm I managed to get free. Me crazy gets off of me, and I think it's over. I'm so dizzy. The ground I'm crumbled on is spinning around, first one way and then another. I don't even bother trying to crawl away. I feel like I'm falling. No, someone's picking me up. I confused up with down, but the terrifying sensation of crazy train mode is insanely familiar. He runs with me over his shoulder, and I hear Brendan yelling at him to stop, that he's taking it too far, but me crazy keeps running. I don't know where we're going until we crash through the glass door of my building, and I'm sprawled across the lobby floor. There's an explosion in the back of my head, a delayed reaction. Blood fills my mouth. This is what death feels like. I think. I scream like someone is turning 100 knives inside of me, spitting up blood as I do. And I'm not crying because of the attack. I'm crying because there's new noise in my head, and it builds from a couple faded echoes into an uproar of jumbled voices. All the memories I once forgot have been unwound. Part 0, unhappiness. Here today, gone tomorrow. Age 9. It's way past my bedtime, but I can't sleep because of a really real nightmare. Myself. There's been enough crying in my family lately, but I can't control myself. Mom tries to calm me down in the kitchen with cranberry juice. Stupid, but I cry harder because I'm jealous of Brendan and how his house is better with better juice and better video games because his parents have more money than we do. Mom hugs me to her shoulder as I sit on the kitchen counter. Baby, you can tell me anything. I love you as you are. I don't want to tell anyone, but I'm scared something will happen to me if I don't. Baby, my son, you are safe. Nothing bad will ever happen to you. I promise. I take a deep breath. I can't say it. I'm too scared. Eric pops up from around our old and busted stereo system and shouts, "You're gay! No one cares!" No. I'm scared I'm going to become crazy like Uncle Connor and eat too many pills and die. I punch this plastic bin where we keep packets of salt, pepper, and ketchup, mom pockets, restaurants, and everything spills out onto the floor. You're an asshole! I got my bad temper and bad mouth from Dad. I jump off the counter to punch him in his stupid face, but Mom drags me back. Aaron, stop! Eric, back to bed now! Eric doesn't taunt me like he usually does whenever Mom or Dad or my cousins hold me back from fighting him. He shrugs. I'm only trying to help, freak. Age 10. Mom bought us the newest PlayStation for Christmas, plus a discounted X-Men game because she had a little extra money left over. We're playing and Eric chooses Wolverine because he likes playing as the main characters. He calls himself a one-man army since he's always good with them. I choose Jean Grey because she can transform into Dark Phoenix and becomes extra powerful. She has this really cool flight and fire trick I saw in the video game's demo at the store. Stop choosing the girl characters! Be a boy! I choose Cyclops instead. Age 11. The superintendent brings his wrench out at 11 a.m. like every summer and jerks open the fire hydrant. Jets of water blast free, and some kids stop to take off their shirts while others charge straight in to cool down. Brandon takes his shirt off. He's been my best friend since first grade, and I see him all the time, but I don't stop looking at him until baby Freddy tells me we're playing tag and I'm it. I only chase after Brendan like a magnet. When I finally catch him, I tag him on his bare shoulder, and my hand stays there a little longer than it needs to. Brendan finally comes back from visiting his family in North Carolina this weekend, and I'm so excited. While he was gone, I really got into comic books to pass the time that would have been spent playing with him. I even draw one just for him. It's a Pokemon comic with its pictures colored in by pens. There are a lot of eraser streaks from my outlining stage, but he won't care. It's about Brendan becoming a Pokemon master and shows how unstoppable he is throughout all his gym battles. I hope he likes it. Age 12. Mrs. Olivia taught the class about Shakespeare and all his plays today. I'm on the couch next to Dad while he watches basketball with Eric. This game is really boring. Since learning about theater and our school's drama club, I want to become an actor who will star in really cool action movies like Scorpius Hawthorne with sword fights and magical battles. I'd rather watch movies with a bunch of sweaty guys I'd rather watch movies than a bunch of sweaty guys trying to put a ball through a hoop so I can study how to be an actor, especially since so much has changed since Shakespeare was alive. If he was ever really alive. I think he might be made up, like Santa and Jesus, but grown-ups tell you he's real. Dad, did you know that men used to play the roles of women in Shakespeare's plays? That's pretty funny, right? Dad turns away from the game for the first time all night. You're a boy, he says. Don't ever act like a girl. Age 13. Brandon runs up to me. Yo, I just got my first blowjob. I get a little heated. I'm just surprised, you know? Whoa, awesome. From who? Some girl who's friends with Kenneth and Kyle. She thinks Kyle's cuter, but because he's coming into his mustache, but I talked a good game and I got into her pants. I am a god. I pat his back. Good job, dude. Good job. Brandon sees baby Freddy coming out of our building with his baseball equipment. Hold up. Let me go tell that little shit. Brendan runs off and I feel a little sick. Age 15. There's definitely something going on between us. We spend all of Earth science passing illustrated notes back and forth instead of listening to Miss O mispronounce minerals with her thick Puerto Rican accent. We always come up with bullshit excuses to keep hanging out after school. We trade stories at this pretty cool chicken spot. We go to the movies and throw candy and chocolate into our buckets of popcorn. We rest our arms next to each other's. Mostly, we play around a lot in the park, just the two of us, like a secret. A secret we suck at hiding because everyone already suspects we're dating. But I'm still pretty damn shocked when I hear, "You should be my boyfriend." I gotta admit, I thought I was doomed to a life of hookups like Brennan and Skinny Dave. Or more like Baby Freddy, who always chases and never catches anything. I never thought someone would give me the hand-holding treatment. This must mean that I was wrong about everything I thought about myself. I scoot a little closer to Genevieve on the park bench. I squeeze her hand and say, "Sure, I'll give being your boyfriend a shot." I don't understand. It all felt so right in that moment I agreed to date her. I was the straightest guy I knew, but when I got home that night, I was still thinking about other guys. Not Brendan anymore. I got turned off from him after hearing him talk about sleeping with girls as conquests. No, I think about the dudes I see undressed in the locker room at school. The ones sitting across from me on the bus staring at nothing and likely thinking about their normal crushes. I don't think about Genevieve. She's staring up at me now like I'm all she thinks about, like I should be inching toward her lips as she is mine. I go for it to prove myself wrong. I turn at the last second and we bump heads. Ow! Genevieve laughs. "Watch it, dumb idiot." "Sorry," I rub my forehead. "Take two?" I nod and she jokingly backs away as if she were in danger of another headbutt. She pulls me toward her, and when she turns left, I freak out and turn left too, and we hit each other again. Maybe this time she'll take it as a message from the universe that I'm the wrong boy to be kissing. I know I can't possibly be fooling her, or anyone, and that's my problem. Without her, I definitely won't be fooling anyone. I pull her to me, and this time I get it right. And when it's done, I laugh, which probably wouldn't make anyone feel good. But Genevieve smiles and then punches me in the arm. I suspect I'll be hitting you a lot. Age 16, October, 9 months ago. I'm in the school library, rereading Scorpius Hawthorne and the Legion of the Dragon, when I catch him looking at me from the fantasy section. Colin Vaughn is another junior, and he's what I like to call an almost jock. He hasn't been able to get on the basketball team since freshman year, but acts superior anyway during gym class. Colin walks over with 2 books and pulls out the chair across me. "Cool if I sit?" "Cool," I say. "I see you reading these fantasy books and comics a lot during class and lunch." His brown eyes wander to my Scorpius Hawthorne book. "Are these any good?" He slides over the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the Hobbit. "Hitchhiker's Guide is really fucking funny," I say. The librarian rolls her eyes at me before returning to her trashy-looking romance novel. "I haven't read The Hobbit, but the movies are epic," I add. He knocks on the Scorpius Hawthorne book. "Ha, I haven't read these books, but saw the movies." Some people are obsessed with the works of Jane Austen or William Shakespeare or Stephen King, but I grew up with a demonic boy wizard. So whenever someone my age tells me they haven't read these books, I imagine a reaping spell being fired into the sky because a childhood is dead. "Why the hell not?" Colin smiles. "Never got around to them." "But you willingly walked into those movie theaters and kicked your feet up?" "Aren't they the same thing?" "You are the worst," I tell him. "If I bring you the first Scorpius Hawthorne book tomorrow, will you read it this weekend?" "I'll give it a shot." "Meet back here tomorrow?" "We'll keep meeting back here until you can recite the 7 laws of hybrid magic." I'm acting like I'm reading the final pages of Legion of the Dragon when Colin comes into the library looking for me. He sits right across from me, not asking this time, and says, "You got the goods?" It's a tone someone might mistake for drug dealing. I slide the backpack over to him. I packed the first 2 Scorpius Hawthorne books, plus the Once and Future King, a Game of Thrones, and a couple comics, in case he's in the insanely minuscule percentage of the universe that doesn't like the demonic boy wizard who inspired a fucking amusement park and 7 films. I toss in some classics too. What got you into fantasy? Colin opens the backpack and opens the first page of Scorpius Hawthorne and the Monster's Scepter. If this Leteo Institute weren't bullshit and I could get a free procedure, I would definitely have my memory of ever reading this series buried so I could relive these books again for the first time. I like pretending, I guess. The pages are yellowed, and he sees my illustration of the horned Alastor Briggs, the overlord of the Silver Crown School. You draw? Yeah, it's a thing I do, I say. I normally don't think I'm an awesome artist, because one should always exhibit some modesty, but Colin studies my drawings like he would bid high for them in one of our dumb school auctions. You should be honored I'm loaning you my original and sacred copies, but I should warn you that I will destroy you like a bone grinder if you ruin them. I actually get that reference, Colin says, and it makes me feel like there's still hope for him. Those are the trolls from the first movie, right? He just compared a skinless demon to a dumb troll. Hope killed. A couple of weeks later, Colin hands me back my copy of Scorpius Hawthorne and the Hollows, the final book in the series. Inside is a note asking me to check yes or no without a question. But I know what he's talking about, and it doesn't scare me like I thought it would if this day ever came. I check yes, and I slide it back across the table. Colin reads it, folds the paper into his front pocket, nods, and says, "Cool." After school, there's a basketball game, and I tell Genevieve I'm going to hang back and watch it. She thought it was weird, but wasn't too bothered by it because it gave her a little extra time to focus on her homework without me calling to distract her. Colin told his girlfriend, Nicole, that he wanted to see if any of the players who made the cut are actually worth anything. But we don't watch the game. I chase him up the staircase to the top floor, and out of breath, I ask him, "Why me? And don't try and shug your way out of this one, or tell me I'm cool." He shrugs. I fake going downstairs. He grabs my arm. "Because I could tell you were different without it being obvious to everyone else you were different, okay? Someone would have to sit down and get to know you to actually figure it out, if that makes sense. And I like what I've seen so far. That do it for you?" "Sure, even if that speech was a bit much." "Asshole. Your turn. Why me?" I shrug, get in his face, and tell him he's cool. We both look downstairs at the same time to make sure no one's coming up, and then we turn and kiss. Age 16. November, 8 months ago. "I'm teaching you how to ride a bike," Colin says as he wheels over a beat-up 10-speed with a pop chain toward me. "You're 16 and officially 10 years too old to wait around for your daddy to teach you." He kneels over and fixes the chain. I can see the skin of his lower back. "Ugh, maybe I'm too old to learn." "No, you'll never get a driver's license if you can't even ride a bike. Come on, you can act like it's Scorpius's broom, the red Sprite, right?" "Sold." I get on and Colin tells me the basics. I expect him to hold my back or my shoulder, but we're in his neighborhood and his friends around. I pedal and fall over, almost banging my head into a fire hydrant. He extends his hand to me and asks, "Any chance I'm forgetting a broom with training wheels?" Colin has already lost both of his virginities. He got it on with this girl Surya when he was 14 after she gave him a hand job under the bleachers in the gym. Then, he let this guy plow him last year when he was vacationing in the Poconos. I still have both my virginities to lose. I've only gotten as far as groping with Genevieve. I want to take it to the next level with Colin. We recently tried doing it in a nearby building staircase, but didn't get very far undressing ourselves before we heard someone coming down. The same deal with this abandoned porch up on the balcony a few nights ago, which was really risky, but worth risking, I think. We have ventured far away from my block and stumble onto a hiding space behind a wired fence in between a meat market and a flower shop. Businesses of death and life. "Oh, it smells like dead cow," I say. "Ooh, but kind of nice too." Weird. "Jesus, do you want me to go get you a flower?" Colin asks, flipping me off. We always flip each other off because it's how we, remain guys. Colin steps over a rusty bike without wheels, leaving me to wonder the next time he'll try and teach me how to ride a bike. And he wrenches at the bottom of the fence until it folds back enough for us to crawl through. It's dark out, and we're so far away from our friends on the block and our girlfriends at home. I bet the fucking moon can't even see us right now. I shove him, and he shoves me back. I tackle him against the wall, unbuttoning his shirt, and it's all condoms and awkward memories from there. It's chillier today, so we can't have sex when we go to our spot. We decide to leave a physical mark instead. I borrowed some cans of spray paint from Genevieve she had left over from an assignment a year ago. I was happy as hell when Colin agreed to this because it meant we shared something beyond sex. Colin sprays a black and blue world onto the dirty wall. I hear police sirens, so I have to think quickly in case they're coming for us. I streak a green arrow over the world. It looks like the universal icon for boys, which makes sense because we're men no matter what we do together. Colin adds a crown and makes us kings. The sirens fade into the distance, so we hang around and keep decorating, for lack of a straighter word. He sprays some weird, shapeless creature on the other wall. Hey, can I borrow a kiss? Nah. Okay, let's try this again. Kiss me, or I'll spray you, Colin threatens. I smile. I walk toward him, and he aims the can at me. Don't fucking do it, Colin Vaughn. I back up, and a spray of blue hits me in the chest. You motherfucker! I pick up a can and spray green all over his back while he runs around. The war goes on for 10 minutes until we're both covered in blue and green and black, and I have no idea how I'll even begin to explain this to my parents.